people like to, they like to have the dog love to be petted and praised. And that is a reward, but you're 100 times better trainer if you understand the spectrum of rewards and the relative importance to the animal. So we're gonna give a little demonstration of that. Yeah, 2 monkeys are gonna give it.
So a final experiment that I want to mention to you is our fairness study. And so this became a very famous study, and there's now many more, because after we did this about 10 years ago, it became very well known. And we did that originally with capuchin monkeys, and I'm going to show you the first experiment that we did. It has now been done with dogs, and with birds, and with chimpanzees, but with Sarah Brosnan we started out with capuchin monkeys. So what we did is we put 2 capuchin monkeys side by side. Again, these animals, they live in a group, they know each other. We take them out of the group, put them in a test chamber. And there's a very simple task that they need to do. And if you give both of them cucumber for the task, the 2 monkeys side by side, they're perfectly willing to do this 25 times in a row. So cucumber, even though it's really only water in my opinion, but cucumber is perfectly fine for them. Now, if you give the partner grapes, the food preferences of my capuchin monkeys correspond exactly with the prices in the supermarket. And so if you give them grapes, that's a far better food, then you create inequity between them. So that's the experiment we did. Recently, we videotaped it with new monkeys who had never done the task, thinking that maybe they would have a stronger reaction, and that turned out to be right. The one on the left is the monkey who gets cucumber. The one on the right is the one who gets grapes. The one who gets cucumber, note that the first piece of cucumber is perfectly fine. The first piece she eats. Then she sees the other one getting grape, and you will see what happens. So she gives a rock to us, that's the task. And we give her a piece of cucumber, and she eats it. The other one needs to give a rock to us. And that's what she does. And she gets a grape. And she eats it. The other one sees that. She gives a rock to us now, gets again cucumber. She tests the rock now against the wall. She needs to give it to us. And she gets cucumber again. So this is basically the Wall Street protest that you see here. So a final experiment that I want to mention to you is our fairness.
Okay, there's the lesson. The dog is a sole judge of reward and its relative value. And the trainer's opinion doesn't matter. Trainer needs to pay attention and remember what rewards are important to the dog and use them. The ideal training model is probably use mid-value or low to mid-value rewards to get the behavior well established, and then when it's pretty reliable, you can jack up the work level by going up to higher level rewards. Here's some examples of rewards for a dog. Tug of war, retrieve, mouse, petting, praise, rocks, water if he's thirsty, chase a squirrel, hunt, attention from a person. All those are rewards. Those are in roughly hierarchical order. Tug of war is probably the most important. And yes, it is okay to play tug of war with a gun dog. Uh, I'll show you some examples shortly. Retrieve is a reward. A mouse, I like to throw that one in there. I have a dog, had a dog from Scotland named Thistle McClue. So,
It was a tibia on the washes or something, wasn't that her?
McClue something. Anyway, she was from the McClue gun dogs. I got her shipped over from Scotland when she was 3 or 4 months old. And she got to hunting mice around the kennel and being pretty successful at finding them and eating them. And when I started the recall training using freeze-dried beef liver chunks to reward her, I wouldn't get very good progress with her recall training and a lot of failures. So I had to figure out what to do. And I could have either got her food back to make her hungrier, or alternatively, I bought another cat and got a lot of mouse traps, and I saved up a gallon jar full of dead mice in the refrigerator, and I used the mice for her recall training, and it worked like a charm because I had given her that extra value. The rocks probably caught your attention. I take a trailer of dogs out to Montana in the summers and train them, and I rent a house out on a river that's got a lot of those little smooth river rocks on it. I took one summer I had a young dog in there.
You had Montana.
Montana. He was about about a year old. And the dogs lived in the trailers, and the regimen was to get up in the morning, take them for a walk, bring them back, put them up, and feed them. And they did it great every morning. However, Marty, during the rest of the day, when he was out, he'd like to go find rocks and play with them and play games with the other. He got all the dogs playing with rocks, and they got very poor on recall. And I realized that they were getting more reward from the rocks than they were to come to me to get back in the trailer. I was having a lot of trouble with recall. So I looked at the situation and said, well, what we need to do is get them a little hungrier. So I cut their food in half. Half of it in the morning, half of it in the evening. Went to twice a day feeding on half rations. And after a few days, they started liking the freeze-dried liver chunks a whole lot better because their hunger level was higher because they were getting half in the morning, half in the afternoon, and that solved the problem. That's the way you got to think about rewards. You can manipulate their value with a little thought. Here's the important thing about treats. Don't get your fingers involved. It's, I don't know if you can see my hand right now, but I think you can.
Mhm.
Got a treat,
A little bit higher.
huh?
If you go up just a little bit higher. There you go.
Got a treat, good. Put the treat in your palm. Palm of your hand, close it up. And that's why you deliver it to the dog by opening your palm up. Then you've got total control of the timing. Otherwise, if you're holding it like that, putting it down, he's going to start racing you to get to it quicker. When the race starts, you start holding it like that. You put it in front of his nose and you hold it till he's doing what you asked him to. Usually it's sitting. When he is sitting, you open the hand. So you've got total control of the timing. Very important. If you teach it with that, a lot of times you'll start also playing a game of getting your hand further into his mouth. It's great fun to do with female trainers. I like to jerk away and turn it into a game. Remember that. You have to have a good guess for effective operant conditioning, positive training. You got to know how to deliver a treat. You've got to have a good grasp of that dog's rewards and their relative values. You got to have a good grasp of punishment, and you have to have a good grasp of distraction factors. The main thing with punishment is if you're going to use it, you need to deal with the side effects. And I'll come to that later. Most of you don't have the experience to do that well. And you need to have a good grasp of distraction. So